yes, there is a paradise. But if there is a paradise, it's not my place.
Let's talk about your style. Where do you get your
My
style?
Where do I get my style? I feel like having a kid, but I'm not gonna give birth to a kid. See, that's a point of view I have. I've grown up with a father who was a drug addict. I've had my mother have psychosis and stuff.
So make sure the whole time the mic is always next to you.
Just so you can hear me.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Curious Minds, where we dive beneath the surface into the life of our guests to understand who they are and why they do what they do. Every conversation reveals something new, and today we have with me a very special guest. I'll let him introduce himself. Here's Darik.
Hey, I'm Darik. I'm a friend of Hanan here.
Not only friend, we're going to get into how we got a connection and why we're doing this, and we're going to get into all of that. And as much as you want to open up, obviously.
Right, yeah.
You know, let's dive into, let's first start with, if I ask you right now, who's Darik?
Who's Darik?
Who's Darik? What do you say to that? Who's Darik?
You know, I don't really know for now. I'm still trying to see. I have not much of an idea where I'm going, but I'm hoping to have one day. All I know is I'm pretty much sure I'll go into construction. Other than that, I don't know.
But Darik is in construction,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah,
So
no.
who's Darik? How would you describe yourself? Who are you as a person? What do you like to do? What are your interests? How old are you? Where are you in life right now?
Right. Well,
It's a hard question.
it
Like
is.
if you would ask me that, I'd take like 2 minutes to think as well about
Yeah,
it on the
I
spot.
am struggling with
Yeah.
this question.
I'll start with my first impression of when I heard of you.
Right.
So here's how our connection started. Darik works at the gas station that my family purchased, I think 3 months ago, maybe?
Yeah, 3 months ago. I'd say.
Yeah, about 3 months ago. And the first time I heard about Darik, it was him and his mom working there and a couple other employees that don't work there anymore.
My sister and 2 other.
Yeah. And when that purchase happened, when we got the gas station, I was on vacation in Tunisia. And I was hearing about, okay, there's these employees, okay, you hear about, okay, the strengths and the weaknesses of these employees. But every time I heard about you, it was like, oh, but this guy's really good. He's very, dynamic. He's very outgoing.
Right.
He's very enthusiastic with every customer that walks in.
Right. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? It really cares about every conversation.
Mhm.
How each person that you don't have to do that at a gas station.
No, I don't, but I like doing it because I mean, if I'm gonna do work at a gas station, I might as well do it good. You know, I might as well make the client want to come back. Because why am I doing the job if I'm only doing halfway? You know.
Well, that's what was so surprising. It's like, and the first impression that I had of you was like, okay, I don't know why, but he cares.
Right.
Why does he care? Maybe I'll find out. Maybe we'll find out today.
Yeah, maybe.
But why does this guy care so much about every single person? At least that's what it seems like that walks into this place. And yeah, that was my first impression of you. It was it was nothing but compliments, honestly. And I know my dad could be strict at sometimes at the store, but overall, and I want to get to know your point of view on the work and on everything that's happening at the gas station as well.
Right.
But yeah, that was my first impression, and it was nothing but kind words for you.
Well, I'm thankful for that. Honestly.
I want to dive into something else. Let's talk about your style. Where do you get your
My
style?
Where do I get my style? Well, I got it from hip hop, from rap music and
Yeah.
all that. But I am not affiliated with anything. It's just a style. Uh, I like the bandana because normally I wear a beanie, but during summer it gets hot. Can't wear the beanie, so I wear a bandana. But you'll see during winter I'll start wearing a beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I replaced it with a bandana for that.
Why hip hop? And when did
Why
that start?
hip-hop?
You're
'Cause
wearing a Wu
my
Tang T-shirt right
Yeah,
now and a
Wu-Tang
bandana.
t-shirt.
Explain that.
well, because my parents listened to hip hop when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I don't know, I picked up on it, and they like every album that's known from hip hop, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mobb Deep, all that. They all had the CDs, and I was forced to listen to it when we were in the car, so I started enjoying it.
That's interesting how, and that's part of you now.
Yeah, it
that
is.
that makes that's because of that. That's how you dress, how you see certain things. You are influenced a lot by that, and even at work sometimes you're just jamming up. You just put a song on speaker,
Yeah.
and you just work like that.
Yeah. I used to hate it before. Like I didn't like the style of music. I thought it was too aggressive or
Really?
whatever. Yeah, I did. But I don't know. I think a year ago or two, that's when I started really liking it. Just because of the memories of I remember when we were going, we used to go from Saint Jérôme all the way to the up north 2 or 3 hours. Once we went up north, just like that 2 or 3 hours away, just for a cone because
A cone.
a ice cream cone.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
we
like, a
just
cone. What? I thought about a construction cone. I was like,
no, ice cream cone.
Yeah.
For just 2 hours straight going up north. My father wanted to go even farther, but then we, as 5 or 6 year old kids, didn't want to do another 2 or 3 hours in the car, so we just said we'll stop here, take an ice cream cone, and come back.
Oh my god.
My father wasn't happy about that. Yeah.
But you guys just went there for an ice cream cone?
No, we were planning on going somewhere
Oh.
else, but
Where were you planning on going?
I don't remember. I only remember the ice cream cone and how my parent blared the Eminem music and stuff like that.
Cool. So who's your favorite artist? Hip
My
hop
favorite
artist? Yeah.
artist?
I think I've asked you this at the store.
Yeah, you have, and it's gonna be the same answer. There really isn't one, but I could give you my top 3 right now. I'd say Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang Clan, of course, and probably Dr. Dre, but I'm more into 50 Cent right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about them that makes them your top?
What makes them my top?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have an idea about that. I guess I could say. Well, no, I can't say the lyrics. No. I don't know. Tears from Wu-Tang Clan. I like the lyrics from there. Same from Cream. But other
Me,
than
I'm
that,
so
I don't have
uncultured
much
when it
idea.
comes to that. I've never listened to one Wu-Tang Clan song. They're gonna attack me for that, but no, I'm not. I've never been into hip hop that much. I've always been into pop and R&B and stuff like that.
Right. What do you listen to?
I used to listen to when I used to listen to music.
Right.
Hip hop. No, not hip hop. R&B and pop. That would be my main things, but not like mainstream music. It would be like underrated R&B artists that I would
Right.
find on Instagram, or like underrated pop artists. Whatever was indie, I used to love that, but now I don't. I stay away from that. I push that away from my life.
How come?
I feel like every episode we dive into this. Every episode becomes, why did Hanan leave music? Why does Hanan not listen to music anymore? Can I just give a one word answer?
Right.
Because of religion.
Religion?
Yeah. Chose religion instead of
Right. Instead of music.
music. We'll just leave it at that. Is there something you want to ask me?
Anything I want to ask you?
that comes to mind right now? Since we're just, because this is rare. I don't think this is one of the reasons why I do these podcasts, because you don't have time to sit with people and just like talk. And this
Right,
is a reason
right.
to just sit
I mean,
and
you're
dive
right,
into
'cause-
your life and dive into my life.
Right. Every time we talk, it's always at work. We always have something
That's
to do,
it.
and it's always cut
That's it.
short.
I'm
you
never
know?
gonna call Darik at midnight saying, "Hey, Darik, what's up?" Let's and
Yeah,
just have a
right.
1 hour conversation. No, this is it. This is how we do it.
Right. But one question for you then.
Yeah, go ahead.
What made you want to choose religion over music?
You really want to dive into
Yeah,
that?
I do. I do.
Here we go. What made me choose religion over music?
And okay, I'll change it.
Yeah.
Why instead of why did you choose religion? Why do you feel like you can't have both at the same time?
Because I tried both at the same time.
Right.
But when I would, because I wasn't just listening to music, I was making music. Like
Right,
I was
yeah,
making it
that
my life.
That you showed me.
Yeah. And when I do something, I tend to make it my passion, like, and I go full in 100%.
Right.
And I just see two different paths. It's either you choose your religion, or you choose something that your religion says that tells you not to do.
Right.
See, for me, it was ignorance, because I knew what my religion was telling me, which was the instruments and the music, like stay away from all that. And like knowing that and still calling yourself a practicing Muslim,
Right.
you get how it's like,
Yeah.
it's like your religion's telling you one thing, but, oh no, I'll still do it because I enjoy it, but I'm still a practicing Muslim.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you're not trying to get to leave the things that your religion is telling you to stay away from, how can you
say you're a part of that religion?
Yeah, well, you could say you're a part of it, but how could you say you're a practicing and a good Muslim that's actually trying? Because you're not trying. You just put it aside.
Right,
You said
you're not committed to it.
you said I enjoy it, so I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna. No, it's like I just didn't. And like I said, when I do something, it's like I want to do it 100%. So even
Right,
in that
yeah.
religious route, I'm like, no, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it 100%. So yeah. How was your? And I don't know if you want to get into it. It's up to you how much you want to dive into it.
Right.
How was your upbringing growing up?
How was it growing up?
Yeah, your household.
You know, I can't say I've had it easy, but I could say I've had it easier than other kids. You know, there are some who are really struggling. Mostly what, you know, I had to deal with as a kid was my father being a drug addict. But, you know, he dealt with that. He went over it, and now he's doing pretty fine. My mother had mental health problems. Still, again, it's pretty fine right now. We got the help we needed. But, you know, growing up as a kid, I saw all that, and I thought, you know, I won't be what my parents have become. I mean, that's what I used to tell myself. But then I started hanging out with people, and then I started smoking and doing stuff like that, which I'm trying to stop. You know, I already told you that. So, you know, there's still this feeling that I kind of let my parents down a bit. But at the same time, I feel like since I'm trying to, you know, stop smoking and try to get a relatively good, what's the name? Whoops.
It's okay. I'll bleep it out.
I don't got the word. Mon train de vie. I'm trying to get a good...
Good habit? Good habits?
Yeah, some good habits and stuff, you know. Again, starting with stopping smoking, and then I'll go further from there. I also want to eat more and better. I already told you that.
So, what would be the things you would like to change apart from stopping the smoking, and like, what's a clear thing that you tell yourself that if I have this in my life, or if I'm doing this constantly, like I'll be a step closer to happiness.
Well, definitely, again, when I'll be done with smoking, that's going to be a big step. Uh, Other than that, some things that I feel would make me happy in life. I feel like having a kid, but I'm not gonna give birth to a kid. See, that's a point of view I have, because I feel like with how much that's just my view of the world, but I feel that with how much corruption there is in everything around us,
Yeah.
and how pollution has gotten, and everything bad about this world, in my opinion, they outweigh the good, which makes me think, if I'm gonna give birth to a kid in such a weird world, I'm gonna say, I might as well just take a kid whose life is already bad because he doesn't have parents, and just adopt him and make his life better.
That's a good point of view. But you can't give birth to a kid, right? The
No, you get the point. Have some.
Yeah, I got it. Well, that's. I think that's a very. It's a point of view that you won't find often, but I feel like some people would actually really relate to that.
Right.
But what about all the good that's in the world?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of good in the world. Just the sun outside. I can't speak right now. I'm trying to find some
Positive things.
yeah, no, there are a lot. That life is good, but I feel like if I give birth to a kid, I will be letting him down when I'll die, because they won't be left in a good world, if you will. Again, with all the corruption and with
But what
the
if
pollution.
what if you work so hard and you give them such a good life that even though there's corruption and there's pollution and there's all these bad things, they still live a good life? Because there's a bunch of people that
Yeah,
are
well,
living good.
again, that's why I would adopt a kid. I would take a kid whose life is bad, make it better, instead of giving life to a kid into a bad world to then try to make it good.
You think the world is bad?
I can't really say that.
Okay.
I would say so, yeah. But again, I can't. It's not that it's bad. It's that it's unfair, in my opinion. Life is unfair to people, and I don't know. I feel like that's the worst part, is the fact that it's just unfair, and I know I will not be able to offer, everything my kid wants, which is
What's
unfair, and I do not.
What's
want to give
unfair
that to
about
a
life?
kid. Well, there are some who are in yachts, drinking alcohol like that's worth the price of my house, while I'm here making 17 an hour max, But again, these people have worked for it, so I can't really whine about that.
So how's that unfair if they worked for it?
Yeah, that's.
But you're right. There's some people that just have it easy. They're born
Yeah.
into a life of wealth and of absolute freedom when they could do whatever they want. But that's not. But those, if you actually look into it, those people aren't really happy. Even though they have whatever they want, they have this level of, like, they haven't worked for anything for themselves.
Right.
There's so much that hardworking people that have so much less can be grateful for without having those yachts and those cars and those houses,
Right.
because those people are, it's it's easy to see from afar that, oh, that person's having the best life ever, but if you really dive into their life, they're miserable, and they hate life, and they don't know what else to do because they've experienced everything, and they're just
Right.
ready to leave this earth,
That's another POV. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it depends how you look at it.
It does, but how the angle I'm seeing this from is, I've grown up with a father who was a drug addict. I've had my mother have psychosis and stuff. Have seen my father overdose a couple times, whereas those people haven't. But again, as you're saying, maybe they have other problems that I haven't seen. Maybe that person is having a divorce or whatever.
Yeah, it's a big game of perspective. Everyone has their own little things they have to, and everything is, you can get out of every situation, and time will only tell how things will switch up, because you're not gonna be, if you really want it. I saw a podcast. Do you know who Francis Ngannou is, the UFC fighter?
Nope.
This guy, read about his life, how he was in Africa and he had nothing. He would walk 3 miles to go to school, 3 hours to go to school every morning. And why I bring that up is because he wanted it so bad that he told himself, no, this isn't going to be my life. I'm going to get out of here. He left his country, escaped his country, came to the United States illegally. Like, he found a way out of his country. And there's and he explains, oh, I went through the Sahara Desert and all that. They caught me. They sent me back home. I came back. And because I believe if you really want it bad, and if you want the life that you dream of so bad, it's there. But you have to work on it and believe in it every single day. Just put yourself a vision board in your head, or even in person. You just put up goals, and this is where I'm heading. As long as you know where you're heading, I think you're set, and you do that until you make it, and that keeps you busy. Or even if you don't make it exactly where you're going to be a lot closer than if you hadn't done that. And if it takes 50 years, you'll die trying to do exactly what you wanted to do.
Right. Well, that's a good way of seeing it.
Read about him. It's a really good story. I was watching a podcast the other day, and they were going into his life, and it's crazy how much. And now he's a millionaire. The guy's making he's the top earners he's not in the UFC anymore. Wherever he is, he's one of the top fighters there, and that's because of heart. All he told himself is, I want to fight. I want to get paid by fighting. He wanted to do boxing at first, and he went into UFC and whatever, and there was no one around him. I think his parents were divorced, and he was just living with his grandma, and everything he has, he could be proud of because he made it himself, 100%. And that's all it takes. There's nothing that you'll get from life. It's just the belief in your mind. It's the belief in your heart that's gonna get you wherever you want to go. But you have to know where you want to go. So Darik, where do you want to go in life?
Where do I want to go?
Yeah.
My goal, for me to feel like I've completed everything I wanted in life.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd only need a house with, my son or daughter, somebody to live with, and just, not something big, just big enough for me to enjoy my years in my 40s, a pool, all that. Mostly relationships, people around me who I can talk to, who I can relate to, because from what I've seen, it gets less and less common with age. The
relationships.
Yeah.
You don't have time for relationships.
No, there's less and less people. The older people get, the less they want to make friends and the less they want to hang out with people, you know.
Because you go into like your own family and then you
you've got
isolate
your
yourself.
family, you've got your things. That's what I wish that I'll have when I'll be in my 40s or 50s. It's just as many people as I can talk to, you know, so I never feel alone. That's if I have that, I have a complete life. That's how I feel. What about you? What do you feel like would make your life complete?
Right now on the spot, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously a family. Have a healthy relationship with the people around me that are important to me. I want to have 100% dedication in my religion and commitment to my religion. I want to have a partner that has the same mindset and the same goals as me. Obviously, kids in the future. I want to be a dad that's very motivating and I want my kids to see me and see someone that's so hardworking and that got everything he wanted to get. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that does.
And that's the whole goal with everything I do. It's like, what are my kids gonna see? Like, who am I? What am I? What am I
You
made
want
of?
to look good to your kids.
What have I done to prove myself to my family, you know, and to the people around me?
Right.
That's the main drive for me, and I feel like I don't keep that in mind, but it's like for some reason, and I'm very grateful for this. It's naturally in me to just go 100%, and sometimes it's not a good thing.
Right.
But I always go 100% in whatever I love, and if I love something, I'm really gonna attack it full on. And that's always been the case with everything I did, whether it was music, it was this podcast, all that. Yeah. So that would be my few things that I would like. Go ahead.
Go for it. No,
I was gonna say, what's fun about this podcast is 10 years later we'll play this back and we'll see exactly
I was thinking the same thing.
where we're gonna be at, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat my words because I'll be a loner with no. That's okay. It's your. I was gonna crack a joke. Dang it! But it's still recording here and it's still recording
Right.
there.
Right.
Let's take a break. 2 seconds. Stop.
We are back.
We are back.
So, I was gonna ask you a deep question. Okay. What's the point?
The point of life.
Yeah. What's the point? What is the ultimate goal? That is that you know. I had it in my head. What's the ultimate goal that you need to reach? That people in general need to reach in life.
As a Muslim, the answer is the purpose of this life is to. When you were talking, I worded it so properly. Now I can't. The purpose of this life is to please your Maker in the best way that you can. And other than that, whatever comes your way, whatever desire and everything that's in this life, whether it's money, it's fame, it's work, is a deception and it's a distraction from the ultimate goal, which is to please your Maker and to do exactly what He said to do. Because at the end of the line, all it is, it's a test to see who you are as a person. It's a judgment for the life that's coming after. So we value the afterlife more than this life. This life is like garbage compared to
Right.
what's coming after. So as a Muslim, you're just here and you're doing your best to please your maker, and you're following all the guidelines until it's your time to leave. And when it is your time to leave, you're the happiest person on earth because, well, not on earth because you died, but you're the happiest person because you're finally going to meet that maker that you've been pleasing throughout your whole life, which is what, like 100 years compared to a life, not a lifetime, infinity, which is paradise.
Right.
I find that so beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't agree with it?
No, it's not that I don't agree with it. It's that I feel like after a while, don't you feel like infinity would be boring? Don't you feel like you would have done anything in like everything that could have been done in paradise, to a point where you would feel like living another one of this life would be better than
that's
paradise?
impossible.
How come?
Because paradise in itself it's like you can never get bored in paradise. That's the definition of paradise. Like, it's never gonna end, and it's always gonna be a constant. Like, there's no more time. It's not like, okay, we've done this podcast 30 times, now we're tired of it. No, it's like you do it, and you, like, there's no feeling of, there's nothing bad in paradise. Everything is
right. Everything's just perfect.
Yeah,
Everything's
perfect.
Fine. Yeah.
What do you believe in paradise?
Do I believe in paradise? There's two answers to this. The first one is the pessimistic one. It's just that, no, I don't believe there's anything. I believe we are, just atoms and molecules, and when we die, it's just the electricity in our brain dies out, and we just become food for the other stuff, you get what I'm saying. There really isn't much after death. It's kind of, you don't remember before you were born, so I'm guessing it's the same thing. When you die, you're not even conscious of it. It's just, and then you're gone.
But so what was the point of this life?
There's none. That's the thing, in my opinion.
So what's the
my way
positive?
of seeing it?
That was your pessimist. Now give me the optimist.
The optimistic one is that, yes, there is a paradise. But if there is a paradise, it's not my place. That's for sure.
Why do you just count yourself out like that? What do you mean?
I have sinned multiple times.
Well, everyone's a sinner.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not really into religion, so I can't really know much about it.
No, I don't think you should count yourself out that fast. Just because
I'm just 17. That's fair.
Exactly. Well, I always forget you're just 17. You're very well spoken for a 17-year-old.
Well, thank you. Other than that, do you what was your opinion on buying the debt where I work? What was your way of, how did you see the caliste, j'ai le mot en
I think you know the purchase.
Yeah, the purchase, that's it.
I think you know the answer to this. That's why you're asking me this, right?
Yeah, I want you to say it to the podcast.
Because of our religious beliefs, I was very against, well, not against enough apparently because it happened, but very against the purchase of the gas station because of the things that were being sold, which is like beer, cigarettes, lottery, and all that. But unfortunately it happened, and I didn't, at least on my end, I could take the blame for that. I didn't push enough for it not to happen, and it led us to where we are right now, which is, you can get out of it, but like, it's a business that you have to, like, once you're dedicated and you're in it, like, you have to deal with it. But that doesn't mean that's the end goal. No, it's like you run it for a bit.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. You deal with the consequences of whatever your decision that you made, and then you just use it as a stepping stone to do something better.
Right. Compensate for that bad that you did.
Yeah.
Right.
But and it's like, it's I don't like it because even when I'm there, like, it's so demotivating or unmotivating? What's the word? Demotivating?
I feel like
Unmotivating?
what is the word?
Demotivating. Unmotivated. Whatever. Demotivating when I'm there working and all I'm doing is selling cigarettes to people, to old women that can't even, like, can barely talk and let me know what kind of cigarettes they want.
Right.
And I'm just giving that to them.
You're killing them, and there's nothing
There's
you can
nothing
do
you
about
can-
it.
Exactly. Well, there is something you could do about it, and that's kind of my whole thing right now. It's like, when am I gonna lock in and actually start my own thing that's gonna get me out of there, you know?
Right.
So yeah. I was gonna say one of the things that I'm doing is this podcast, but everything I do in filmmaking and like videography, photography, I feel like it's always been there. That's not the stepping stone that I'm gonna use to get out of there, get out of that situation. But yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now. That's where I am in life, and I'll look back at this and hopefully I'll tell myself, hey, look, you made it out, and you're not a part of that anymore. And my whole family, I don't want anyone.
No,
because
you don't want to be a part of it. Even from my perspective, even from my mother's perspective, you see, like I've been working here for 2 years. It's gonna be what, 3 soon?
Really?
Yeah, in a couple months, and I have seen from the start of when I worked there to now, the people who come in every day, I have seen them, slowly dying because of the cigarettes I have to sell them, and I just keep just watching them die, and there's nothing I can do about it. Even if it's not from a religious stance, I still hate it, because I can't just go, no ma'am, I'm not going to sell you that, because for 3 years you've been buying it, and in barely 3 years you've gone from a fully functional woman to somebody who can barely talk and barely walk on his own, because of the cigarettes. And that's what destroys me. It's the part I hate about this job. But, I still get to meet people. I still get to have conversations with people, new people I meet. And, it's still a fun job, in my opinion.
How are you so enthusiastic at work?
How am I so enthusiastic? I don't know, because I feel like, what's the point of...
Wait, before you finish that, what's the first thing that you say every time someone walks in? Say it to that camera. Pretend that camera is someone that just walked into the store.
Whatever. Salut, ça va bien? Fuck. No way, I can't remember it.
What?
Well, I can't remember when it's like automatic. I hear the alarm. That's when I remember to say it. But now there's no alarm of the person coming in. I can't remember.
You can't remember.
I have like my one sentence after the other just to keep the person talking for the whole time they're in the gas station. It's crazy.
You mastered the art form of communication at a gas station.
Yep. Even when people don't want to talk, sometimes I get them talking.
Yeah, you do. Which is what makes you great.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could use that skill. It's going to help you out, like, in everything that you do in the future.
You feel?
Definitely. Like definitely. This guy's building a go-kart right now.
Oh,
we haven't even gotten into all the things you could do, like all the construction things. Let's get into that. Talk about that.
Right. Okay. Well, as he said, I'm building a go-kart. My father bought the frame, I think it's 3 years ago. He started building it, doing his stuff. He bought like a lot of parts. He bought a turbo, he bought a torque converter, he bought a bunch of stuff to make it really overpowered. But with those parts, he blew 2 engines. So, no, I think 3 actually. I think it's 3 engines he blew. So I decided, he gave me the frame because he wasn't going to try anymore. So I've decided to make it a bit less powerful, but it's still going to be cool. I'm still going to have fun. I think it's at Mirabel. They have a racing strip. I guess that's the name.
Oh, you're going to take it there?
Yeah, because I mean, where else am I gonna take it? I could go on the streets, but then there's the police, and then it's unsafe, and so I'll think about it. But I'm mostly just trying to build it now.
I told him to film yourself making that go-kart and post it on TikTok. Do you have a TikTok?
I do. No, I don't anymore. I used to, but I mean, if I reinstall it, I'll probably still have my account. Actually, I did film. I filmed. I filmed me cleaning out the brakes. Showed a bit how to do it. They were jammed, so I showed how to do that. That's all I filmed for now. I forgot to film when I sanded the frame for the rust, but
I think the camera's gonna die.
Oh, you think?
Okay. Do you have anything else to say before we end it?
Do I have anything else
We've
to say?
been going for 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So one last thing to say.
Yeah, say it.
What would it be? It would be, where do you want to go with this channel?
The podcast?
Mm-hmm. What is your goal in general with the channel?
Whenever I mention it to someone, I have a new podcast coming out. I just posted my first podcast, whatever, and they're always like, oh, did it do well? How many views? And I'm like, I don't know. That's not what I was. That's not what I was going for. Like 1 million views on my first episode or my second episode.
Yeah, well, that's impossible,
Well, sometimes it happens, but it's like, that's me. The whole goal with this podcast is consistency as long as I could do it.
Right.
And it's nice because I could just chop these moments up and post them on my Instagram and I have a bunch of content. And it's conversations with everyone around me that I want to get into.
What? That's
Trump.
okay.
Yeah, it's I want to know about everyone that's around me. Like I feel like I know you a lot more because we had this conversation. I feel like our connection is a lot more because we had this 45 minutes together, And that's what I want with everyone around me. It's like I want to get to know people a lot more. And I know whatever you said in this podcast is going to help someone else watching out there. I know whatever I said might help someone else at home as well. Maybe listening to what you're struggling with is going to help someone out as well. And talking about it might have helped you out as well,
Right.
So that's I feel like that's what it's all about. And my goal isn't to blow up this podcast or whatever. I just want to have something to give a platform to whoever wants to add something and put something out there.
Right. Well, I want to add one thing to make it so I at least give something to the people who watch this.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with a little story time. Did you know that when I started working there for about a year, now it's been 2.5 years or so, 2 years, whatever. For about a year, I never said a word when a client came in. It's just, the client came in, took his stuff. I didn't even look in his eyes. I was just looking at my cash register. Just took the money, gave it back, and that's it. Because I was so afraid of conversations and of how people saw me and stuff. But then my grandmother died, right? And then I realized that, life is short and it's too fragile to be spending it, thinking about how people see you and how, is this guy judging me, life is too short for thinking that way. And then I realized, what's the point of, asking yourself what that person is thinking when it's not going to change a thing? Whether or not you're asking yourself, is that guy looking at me bad? It's not going to change the fact that this guy is looking at you bad, You're just worrying for nothing. You're stressing out for no reason. That's all I had to add.
That's definitely going to help someone out there. That's deep. And I feel like with time you realize this is as much, and some people at at 30 they're not going to realize this. They're going to stay in there.
It just depends on the people, I've had the luck to realize it early. I give most of the credit from that to my grandmother because she kind of opened my eyes to it. It barely took 4 months for her to go from a fully functional woman to just bedridden and barely able to form a thought because of cancer, you know. And yeah, it's just, I feel like you need to have something hit you like this to be able to see it. If you're not hold on, you're gonna have to cut this out. I'm gonna redo, okay?
Okay.
So
I don't think I'm gonna cut it out.
no, you're not gonna cut it out. Okay, well,
Doesn't
I'm done
matter.
here.
Yeah, you could go.
No,
You
that's
keep-
it.
Just keep going.
I'm leaving it on a cliffhanger.
Just walk out and leave.
Yep,
What do you-
that's it.
No, wait, come back. What were you saying? What was the thing?
Yeah, I was saying it you know, I feel like people need to have a shock, you know, something that hits them hard
Yeah.
before they realize it. Because when I used to have people telling me exactly what I just told on the camera here, I would just think, you know, it's not real, you know. It's just somebody trying to make me happy, but it is. It's just what it is. You need to stop hanging on to what people think about you so much to have a good life without as much stress as before. That's my
Definitely.
way of seeing it.
I don't want to add anything else. I feel like if we end it on that note, I think that's the best ending we could do.
All right, well, that's it.
Darik, I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Well, I appreciate you too.
Thank you for your time. It's very valuable, and the fact that you do that and give it to me and to everyone watching, just to share a little bit more about you. It's amazing. Thank you everyone for listening. Show some love by subscribing, liking, and following us on all the socials. Darik, do you have any socials you want to link?
No, I'm.
You're very off grid. That's why.
Yeah, I am.
If ever you have anything, I'll link it down in the description below. Okay. All right. Well, take it easy, guys, and peace.
Holy shit! Holy shit! So go shut up. Because your guys' channel. I'm not
Wait.
standing right here.
It's a podcast that we just did.